Are welcome to responsibly explore their own connection to the sacred. I am Reverend Leslie Runnels, and I use she, her pronouns, joined today with Jackie Burns as worship associate, and we have Maria Lundgren as song leader, Karen Baggett filling in for Megan Smith, who's got a day off today, and then Barb and Harriet are making all the technical magic happen for us. If you are visiting us for the first or second time today, would you raise your hands that we may welcome you? Hi there. Anybody else? And we'll bring the microphone around if you'd like to introduce yourself, and if you'd prefer not to, just say no.
So where?
She's right there. There she is.
Marie Lalina. I'm from Massachusetts. On my way down to Florida and visiting my sister Ann.
Nice, nice.
Welcome.
And we heard this morning that Marie is the reason that Ann has joined us, because she told her about us. And Massachusetts is kind of like, it's a little bit like a mecca of Unitarian Universalists. I think Boston has 28 churches in Boston. UU churches. I know, right? All right, let's find out who's joining us on Zoom.
We have Gary Willis, Karen Reddy, Lauren Donachie, the Marsh family, Neil Beavers, Susan Roberts, and Susan Fetzer.
Beautiful. Let's wave to everybody on Zoom. We're glad you're with us. And I do have a couple of announcements. Next Sunday is going to be our Out with the Old, In with the New Year's service. And so you might want to think about in this time what you want to let go of and what you want to bring into your life. And we're going to have a little ritual around doing that, which will include either putting the paper that we're going to write on, which is eco-friendly, water-soluble ritual paper. Very expensive to get all of those words in it. And when you write on it, if you write on it on ink, if you write on it in ink, when you put the paper into the water, the paper dissolves, but sometimes the ink will stay on top of the water just for a second. So it's another way to kind of see your intention one more time. And the other thing that we're going to do is, if you don't want to put your paper in the water here, we're going to go to the ocean afterwards and release the papers to the ocean, which is, a little more powerful water. So you make your decision about which one, how you want to play. All right, and now Jackie, one more. We have a food pantry that is out there. It's outside. It's open 24/7 to any community member who needs extra food at any time. And we need to restock that pantry because people are hurting right now. So we need one more volunteer. We have 4 solid volunteers, and we need one more. So if you live in Moorhead or close by and you'd be willing to take one day a week to stock the pantry, we would love to have you. Any volunteers? Okay, great. Ryan, wonderful. Ryan and Adam, y'all want to team up on it maybe? Okay, cool. All right. You got it, Helene? Those are your people. I know you know one of them. All right, beautiful. Mm-hmm.
So next week we'll have an intention table set up here, and we'll have a craft for you. And the craft that we'll have next week is to put shells around a frame. I thought, in January, we've just passed the holidays. You all probably took a bunch of family pictures, and I'd like to give you some way to handle those pictures. So you can make a frame. You can bring a frame. I will have a few here, and I'll have a bunch of shells and some glue, so y'all can work on that. Later, we're not going to have this the same Sunday, but this is a collage made with family pictures. And so I can bring the paper, the glue, the scissors, that sort of thing. Actually, it's not just me. We're working with the religious education folks here. They'll have the kid scissors and the glue. And you bring the photos and make your own collage. So that will be later, so we wanted to let you know so you can think about getting some of those photographs printed that you might like to bring and work on that project.
All right. With the gratitude for all that is going on within this beautiful congregation, we're going to settle in, get it ready, prepare ourselves for worship service in this sacred space. We'll center ourselves and we'll let music deepen the way.
Today we kindle flames of memory and hope, candles lit for miracles remembered, for wisdom handed down, for justice unfinished, for love that refuses to be extinguished. May this light remind us that even the smallest spark pushes back the darkness. May it awaken in us courage when the world feels heavy, tenderness when we are tempted to harden, and faith, not certainty, but faith, that our shared humanity can shine brighter than fear. And now let us speak these words as one. Come, let us worship together. Our Unitarian, we're working on, are you lighting? Okay. Our Unitarian heritage bids us light our chalice in the name of freedom, in the light of reason, in actions of tolerance. Our Universalist heritage bids us light our chalice in the name of faith, in the light of hope, in the actions of love. This flame brings the union of Unitarian and Universalist heritage into our world and into our lives today. As we light our peace candle, we are reminded that peace is a process that requires work, that peace is not merely an absence of conflict, but the presence of justice.
People have always known that fire was special. Long, long ago, before people made matches or candles or even made houses, people knew that fire was special. There was the great fire in the sky, the sun, which made the earth warm and made night into day. And there were the smaller fires that people made, fires that cooked their food and kept them warm and brought them light. People honored the fires because fire was special. Fire was more than human. Fire has power, It can create and it can destroy. Fire can be wonderful and fire can be terrible. And we have to be careful with fire. And so people thought that fire was something sacred and holy. Some people even worshiped fire and said that fire was a deity, like a goddess or a god. Other people said that fire wasn't actually the deity, but just meant that the deity was there. No matter what they believed, people all over the world gave fire a special place in their religions. They had fires in their homes, of course, to cook with and to keep warm, and they also had sacred fire in their temples. They set sacred lamps on their altars. They lit sacred bonfires outside on the hilltops and in the groves. They placed sacred torches near the graves of those who died. We still do this today. In Washington, D.C., near the tomb of the unknown soldier, burns an eternal flame that never goes out. In churches at Christmas time, many Christians light 4 candles on an Advent wreath. During the 8 days of Hanukkah, Jewish families light the 8 candles of the menorah. At Diwali, Hindus set lamps all around the house. And when Unitarian Universalists gather, we light a chalice, and this is our sacred fire. Today, we're going to be lighting the ritual candles of many of these different faiths and spiritual traditions. And just so you know, I've already tagged Dave to be the fire marshal. He knows where the fire extinguisher is. He's going to keep an eye on things. We're all going to be safe.
We begin our Festival of Lights by inviting Sarah Sutherland and Hallie to light the menorah. The temple in Jerusalem had been compromised. The Greeks had control and had stolen and broken items and desecrated the temple. Then the Jacobites regained the temple, driving the Greeks out. Quickly, they wanted to rededicate the temple, relighting the perpetual light. But they only had enough of the sacred oil to last one day. They started not knowing how the ritual would end. Miracle of miracles, the lamp stayed lit for 8 days until they could replenish the oil. In this, the Hanukkah menorah, the central branch, the shamash, is used to light the other candles. The other 8 candles represent the days the oil lasted and the length of the Hanukkah celebration. Please rise in body and spirit, and let's sing together hymn number 221, Light One Candle.
Light one candle for the Maccabee children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. winter's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in, that anger won't tear us apart. And light one candle to bring us together with Peacemaker song in our hearts. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. What is the memory that's valued so highly? We keep it alive in that flame. What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? Have we come this far, always believing that justice would somehow prevail? This is the burden, and this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears.
We invite the Cornell family forward to light the candle representing the secular solstice. Boys. The secular solstice is a modern, non-religious winter holiday for atheists, humanists, and rationalists that mark the winter solstice. Created by rationalist Raymond Arnold in 2011, it includes a ceremony that moves from darkness to light, confronting global challenges while celebrating human ingenuity and hope for the future. It features music, storytelling, and candlelighting to represent acknowledging hardship, remembering the past, and committing to make the world better through collective effort rather than divine intervention. We are already past the longest day of the year, believe it or not. Last Sunday was the solstice, so our days are getting longer and warmth will be returning. And we can use this to symbolize the human journey through struggle, through suffering and unsolved problems, towards hope and progress. The secular solstice aims to provide a sense of belonging and shared purpose, similar to religious rituals, but it's grounded in a naturalistic, evidence-based worldview. celebrating human ability to build a better world. May it be so.
Please join me in the responsive reading. Your part is in italics. Flame of light, symbol of a living tradition, we kindle you for light. Flame of light, we kindle you for love.
Love to keep our hands and hearts warm in the wintry cold. Love to comfort us as our hearts break for the pain of the world. Love to bring us into community so we may grow stronger together.
Flame of light, we kindle you for hope. For light, love, and hope, we kindle our flames together.
As our flames start to shimmer together, let us move deeper into sacred ritual, where we make some space and time to be human and celebrate our joys and grieve our sorrows together. This is a reverent, sacred moment in our worship service where we witness each other in our moments of joy and sorrow. Please hold the quietness of this ritual together, centering yourself into this community ritual. Should you wish to share a personal joy or sorrow about a person or persons in your life, there's paper over there that you can fill out, and I will read it aloud as part of the ritual. And the way this works is we'll have two lines, one line that comes around here, and is going to come and grab a shell or a rock and place it into the water to symbolize whatever joy or sorrow you're bringing. And the other line will come around this way and pull from the basket on the left. So we invite you now to this ritual. Adam asked that we remember the pain of our past, then release the trauma so we move on unhindered. Amen. Where did he go? There he is. Ryan says, my little brother's mom received a letter on the 26th from the organ recipient of his lungs. Not really sure how to feel. I understand that. That's complex. Mark and Marie Lundgren are celebrating our daughter-in-law's Emily's acceptance into Gonzaga Law School with a scholarship. Fantastic. And Lee and Amy are celebrating their 41st anniversary today. Woo! Kind of feel like the lead was buried on that one. I was talking to them all morning and I never heard that. So exciting. By the light of this chalice and these flames that are growing, take a moment to hold in our hearts all that is known and unknown about who is struggling. For the sorrows and concerns shared here, may you feel our sympathy and compassion. And take a moment to open our hearts to joy, ours of that or others, known to us and unknown. We join you in celebration. For all that remains unspoken, both joy and sorrow, may the caring of this community offer you both kindness and hope. May you know love, may you know peace, and may you be safe. I'm just going to preface before Jackie starts. The Peshes were going to bring a Yule log cake, which we were going to have after, and you put a little candle in it, and we were going to light that, and then we were going to have it afterwards. But unfortunately, they are all sick except for the 2 surviving members that are here who did not come with a cake. But we just want to offer that they were going to bring us a big gift, and we're sorry that they aren't here.
Okay. Right. Do we have anyone that would like to come forward and light the Yule candle? Penny, go ahead. Jason and Wendy Pesh shared so much about the Yule last Sunday. So just in case you missed it, we have a little reflection for you today. Okay. The Yule log is an ancient symbol of warmth, endurance, and hope carried through the longest night of the year. As the log is lit, we remember that even in deep darkness, light and heat can be kindled and tended by human hands. This is not a light that arrives all at once, but one that grows slowly, fed by care and attention. For Unitarian Universalists, the Yule log invites reflections on cycles of loss and renewal, the truth affirmed by both science and spirit. The earth turns, seasons shift, and what seems dormant is quietly preparing to return. Burning the Yule log becomes a sacred act of trust that the sun will rise again and the warmth will return. That change is possible even when we cannot yet see it. As the log burns, we may release what no longer serves us, old griefs, worn fears, heavy regrets, and make space for new intentions. May its glow remind us that the hope does not deny darkness. It endures within it, waiting to grow.
Next, we'll be lighting the Kinara, and Ymir and Latoya and Keisha, thank you, are out of town, so they aren't here to light it. But Barb Jewett back there has agreed to do it as she's practicing Kwanzaa this week, so please come forward. We are on the third day of Kwanzaa, so we are only lighting the 3 candles. Kwanzaa invites us into a sacred pause at the turning of the year, a time to reflect, to remember, and to recommit ourselves to the values that sustain community and nurture hope. Rooted in African and African American traditions, Kwanzaa offers 7 principles, the Nguzo Saba, that speak powerfully to Unitarian Universalist faith and practice. When Dr. Malana Karinga, who was very responsible for starting African studies programs in universities, came up with the idea for Kwanzaa, he asked the UUA, the Unitarian Universalist Association, for funding to help create it. And, you know, he asked other organizations as well, but it is part of our faith that we wanted to offer money. Yes, please create this, and we'd love to help. And now these candles are here, right? There's our connection. Today we reflect especially on the first 3 principles of Kwanzaa, Umoja, Kujichagulia, and Ujima. Umoja, which means unity, is the first black candle. That calls us to strive for togetherness in family, community, nation, and world. This is not a shallow sameness, but a deep commitment to belonging. In Unitarian Universalist life, unity means making room for difference while refusing abandonment. It asks us to stay at the table, to tend relationships even when it is hard, and to remember that our liberation is bound together. Kujichagulia, the second candle, the red candle, self-determination, invites us to define ourselves, name ourselves, and speak for ourselves. It resists the stories imposed by systems of domination and insists on dignity reclaimed. For Unitarian Universalists, this resonates with our call to seek truth and meaning, and with our promise to honor each person's inherent worth. Self-determination is not isolation. It is the courage to live authentically while remaining accountable to the whole. And the last candle, the green candle, is Ujima, collective work and responsibility. This reminds us that we were responsible for one another's well-being. It teaches that the work of healing and justice cannot be done alone. In Unitarian Universalist theology, this echoes our commitment to justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Ujima asks us not only to notice suffering, but to show up, to repair what is broken, and to share the labor of building that which is possible. As we honor these first 3 principles of Kwanzaa, may we recommit to unity that holds complexity, self-determination rooted in dignity, and collective responsibility shaped by love. May these values guide us into the new year, together grounded, and ready to do the work that love requires. And let us join our voices now to sing of unity, self-determination, collective work, and responsibility. We're going to rise in body or spirit for hymn number 147, When All the Peoples on This Earth.
When all the peoples on this earth know deep inside their precious worth, when every single soul is free, we'll earn the name humanity, the choice to be the best we can begins the day we say I am. The unity for which we sigh will never come through hate or lie. The lights of Kwanzaa now proclaim that when we share our inner flame and nurture root and branch with pride, we'll harvest peace both far and wide.
The next candle we have is for Diwali, and our Bijou family, Sujata and Jay and their children, are out of town, so they are not here to light it. Do we have somebody that would like to light the candle for them in their honor? Yeah, come on, Marty. Marty got it. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Marty. Diwali, y'all might remember Sujata back in September, October, November, somewhere around there, wrote on her sheet of paper during the Stones and Water ritual that she was glad that we were celebrating Diwali with her, even if we didn't even know that we were. Does anybody remember when she said that? So I checked in with her if it was, okay with her if we lit a candle, because we do have to be careful about cultural appropriation and lighting all these candles if we aren't doing it in accountable relationships. So I did speak with her, and I'm excited that next year we might actually do a little something about Diwali. So Diwali, the Festival of Lights, comes to us as a story of illumination, light returning after a long season of darkness, wisdom rising over ignorance, hope kindled where despair has lingered. Across its many traditions, Diwali teaches that light is not passive. It's something we tend, protect, and choose again and again. In the ancient stories, lamps are lit to guide people home, to welcome the exiled, to mark the triumph of goodness over harm. But Diwali is not just about a victory already won. It's about the ongoing work of discernment, learning how to recognize what is life-giving and choosing it, even when the way forward is unclear. In Unitarian Universalist language, this is the work of conscience, of seeking truth and meaning with humility and courage. The lamps of Diwali are small lamps, little simple clay vessels filled with oil, and each one lit by hand. They remind us that transformation rarely arrives all at once. It comes through steady practices, acts of kindness, moments of repair, commitments renewed. One lamp may flicker, but together they create a radiance that reshapes the night. This is the power of community, a truth you know very well. Diwali also invites us to reflect on inner light, not a perfection we are meant to achieve, but a dignity we are called to honor in ourselves and one another. Our faith affirms the inherent worth and dignity of every person, even when the world tries to tell us otherwise. To tend the light within is to refuse the stories that tell us some lives matter less, some shadows are permanent, some darkness cannot be healed. As we reflect on Diwali, may we ask, what light is ours to carry? Where are we being called to mend, to welcome, to begin again? May we leave this moment committed to living as lamps for one another, small, steady, and brave, trusting that even now the light is enough. And I do have a little video about Diwali, and it took me a long time on YouTube to find a video on Diwali that wasn't narrated by a white person. So I found one. It's a little bit old, and it's a little bit grainy, but it's really beautiful. So please enjoy.
Diwali is the festival of lights in the Hindu faith. Basically, it symbolizes King Rama's return to his kingdom after being exiled. And the story goes that his father had banished him from the kingdom and sent him to exile in the forest. On Diwali, we try to reenact the way that Rama came back. So the citizens all danced in the streets, and so the same way we dance on Diwali. Generally, the more classical dances are devoted towards the gods, and on this occasion, probably more towards Sri Rama. Part of the celebration of Diwali includes a grand puja. The puja, it comes near the end of the Diwali celebration, and it's the biggest part of the entire celebration. All the priests from various different temples, along with their children, go to the stage and begin to do the prayers to the Lord. In the puja, the fire is our medium of communication, basically the way that humans can talk to God. Throughout Hinduism, fire represents the purification of all things, and it takes away all the sins. As they chant the Lord's name and the different Vedic chants, they place the flower in front of the fire, and that's a way of offering to the Lord. Another very holy part of the puja is the water, and it's a place in front of the god so it becomes sanctified and purified. And also it has a little bit of the water from the Ganges River, which is the holiest of all rivers in India. And so many people after the puja come forward to receive some water and drink it and sprinkle it on their head to bless themselves. Also, the illumination, the light that comes from the fire is a way of taking away the ignorance that we have. And so after the puja is done, people take the fire, they rub their hands over the fire and bring it over their head, basically to illuminate themselves and to take away their ignorance. Every year we celebrate in the same way, just like King Rama's coming back every year.
All right, we now invite Sarah Grenier to light the Indigenous Solstice Candle. Indigenous solstice traditions remind us that the turning of the seasons is not metaphor, but relationship. The longest night is a teacher, inviting stillness, gratitude, and attention to the earth that holds us. Long before clocks and calendars, people marked this moment by listening to the land, the stars, and the wisdom of the ancestors. For Unitarian Universalists, these teachings call us into humility and respect. We are not separate from the cycles of creation. We belong to them. As the light slowly returns, may we honor indigenous wisdom by living with reciprocity, care, and responsibility, remembering that renewal begins when we listen deeply and act with reverence. And Jackie found a beautiful piece of poetry to share. From the great rock I see it, the daybreak star, the sign of the dawning. Above the mountain it rises, and my heart dances. Now the light comes, the light that makes me one with all life. Like the Tinamou I am, who sings in the dawn, who is humble with love, who walks in the circle of the greater love and the greater power. Let me be like a ray of light, like a flower blazing, like light, like the waterfall laughing with light, like the great tree also, mighty in its roots that split the rocks, mighty in its head that reaches the sky. And its leaves catch the light and sing with the wind a song of the circle. Let my life be like the rainbow, whose colors teach us unity. Let me follow always the great circle, the roundness of power, one with the moon and the sun and the ripple of waters, following the sacred way of honor, a guide and protector to the weak, a rock of strength in my word that shall say no evil, no lie, nor deception. Let me be like the otter, so loyal to his mate he will die for her. So strong to his children they obey him as the shadows obey the sun. And let me remember always the great one, the Lord of the dawning, whose voice whispers to me in the breeze, whose words come to me out of all the circles of life, and whose command is like the thunder. Be kind, be kind, be brave, be brave, be pure, be pure. Be humble as the earth, and be as radiant as the sunlight. And now we have a song to share. This is in our gray hymnal number 366. We have a recording of it, which is really quite beautiful. We invite you to listen in if you just want to listen, or if you want to join in singing, please do.
Mana poke na balgit mai manapo Halle Hallelujah Yai kane Halle
Right. Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to light the Advent wreath? Welcome, Pat. And we can light all 4 candles. A blue one, a pink one, and then a blue one. Pink one's third. There you go. Great. I grew up in a household with an Advent wreath on the dinner table throughout the month of December. We would read prayers and light the candles as we anticipated the coming of Christmas, the day that Christians celebrate the birth of Christ. But I couldn't really remember all the symbolism as I prepared for today. I was surprised to learn that the earliest Advent wreath was developed by a Lutheran minister in the 18th century to help the children who were anticipating Christ's birthday count down to Christmas. Today's symbolism came a little bit later. The circular wreath with no beginning and no ending symbolizes God's infinite love. Evergreen branches symbolize eternal life. The 4 candles represent hope in expectation of the coming Messiah, love of the baby in the manger and the family, joy of the shepherds rejoicing at the birth, and peace proclaimed by angels to those on whom his favor rests. Advent begins 4 Sundays before Christmas. 1 candle is lit the Sunday closest to November 31st, and 1 is added each Sunday until Christmas. More recently, some have added a white candle in the center representing Christ to be lit on or after Christmas. Please rise in body or spirit to sing hymn 226, People Look East.
People look east, the time is near of the crowning of the year. Make your house fair as you are able. Trim the hearth and set the table. People look east and sing today. Love, the guest is on the way. Furrows be glad, though earth is bare. One more seed is planted there. Give up your strength, the seed to nourish that in corn course the flower may flourish. People look east and sing today. Love, the rose is on the way. Stars keep the watch when night is dim. One more light the bowl shall brim, shining beyond the frosty weather, bright as sun and moon together. People look east and sing today. Love, the star is on the way.
Now that we have lit all the candles, weaving together our sacred traditions, let us admire them and see what they represent. Feel what feelings arise. We're going to move into a time of meditation, the prayers of your own heart. Feel free to close your eyes if you like, or gaze into the candles. We'll begin with 3 deep breaths, then we'll enter into silence, and then music will bring us out. So begin with 3 deep breaths.
Every year, we at Unitarian Coastal Fellowship give to others in our community during the holidays. For the month of December, we are doing that through funding the Minister's Discretionary Fund. This is a fund that Reverend Leslie uses to supply emergency funds to members and friends of the congregation, as well as people in the community who are reaching in to us for help. You have been giving generously all month long. Please give generously once more so that Reverend Leslie can give generously as well. We always hear what a generous church we are. Let us continue that story. Please join us in blessing this offering with hymn 402, From You I Receive. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live. Sadly, now comes time to extinguish all these flames. Please join me in reading our chalice extinguishing words. We extinguish these flames, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now in Español. Extinguimos esta llama para no la luz de la verdad, el calor de comunidad o el fuego de nuestro compromiso. Estos los llevaremos en el corazón hasta que estemos juntos otra vez.
It is now time for us to join hands and form around the edges of the sanctuary, creating a circle of love. If you prefer to stay in the middle and be surrounded by that love, please do so. All right, we are all connected. All these little flames of love everywhere. Go now in peace. Carry the light of hope, the warmth of community, and the promise of love. Once lit, it is never extinguished. Go now in peace. Amen.